Thank you, Paige, for leading us. So first off today, I'd like to introduce our invited guests. They took the time out of their busy day to come to our celebration this morning. I'd like to introduce Olivia Burr's dad, Colonel of the U.S. Army, Tim Burr. Madeline McIver's dad, Sergeant First Class, U.S. Army, Bob McIver. Anna Doran's grandfather, retired Sergeant in the Marines, Dan Doran. Connor Miles' dad, Sergeant Army, Tim Miles, Staff Sergeant Army, Tim Miles. Colin McTashuk's grandfather, retired United States Air Force, Robert Ladd. Avery Alexander Hughes' grandfather, Army Active Duty, William Hughes. Patrick Frost's dad, retired Lieutenant Commander in the Navy, Richard Clough. Eddie Fantasia's grandfather, retired U.S. Marines, Edward Fantasia. Ryan and Andrew Phillips' grandfather, retired U.S. Army Colonel Don Phillips. Ty and Griffin Cobb's grandfather, Army Ranger. West Point graduate, Vietnam veteran, Tyrus Cobb Jr. Stephen McDonald's dad in the Air Force, Scott McDonald. Mackenzie and Maya Sanderson's dad, Chief Petty Officer, U.S. Coast Guard, Sean Sanderson. Nick Parisi's grandfather, retired Navy World War II veteran, Nick Skalaki. Grace Allen's grandfather, retired U.S. Army Specialist Stanley Allen III. Lexi and Trey Olson's grandfather, Navy Alan Olson Sr. Thomas Kugel's uncle, U.S. Army Specialist David Stedman. Jake and Joshua Richards' grandfather, retired Navy Petty Officer, 3rd Class, James Richard. Zachary and Megan Richards' grandfather, retired Air Force Airman 1st Class, William Richard. Leah Hyman's family friend, Vietnam veteran Martin Levitt. Brendan and Cassandra Spencer's grandfather, retired U.S. Army Specialist and a retired Georgetown police officer, Richard Spencer. VFW attendee that we invited, our second graders wrote letters inviting, we're so thankful they're here. Retired CBO Navy, Joseph Muse. Dan and Julia Buckley's dad, Petty Officer, 2nd Class, U.S. Navy, Mike Buckley. And from the American Legion, we're so happy you came to join us today, U.S. Air Force, Doug Dawes. So welcome to our Memorial Day. We want to thank everyone for coming today, and once again, we are celebrating a very important tradition here at Pembroke. When we think of Memorial Day, the very name suggests it's a day to remember and pay respect for all those servicemen and women who have sacrificed their lives so we could have our freedom. In our classrooms and through celebrations like this, we keep the values that are important to the Georgetown community, and we recognize the dedication and courage of our heroes. Today, I hope you'll enjoy the talents of our children, celebrate our freedom, remember the fallen heroes, and let's all not forget the tragedy of the Boston Marathon. So without further ado, we have a couple of students here today that are going to share with us, and we have lots of festivities to celebrate. We're going to begin with one of our 4th graders. We asked our 4th graders to come up and share with us what Memorial Day means to them, And we have Sydney Korea representing the 4th grade. Sydney? We're going to hold on Sydney because I think Mrs. Collins grabbed it when we... Mrs. Carroll, could you grab Miss Sydney's speech? Okay, very good. We're going to begin with our 2nd graders kicking off the singing with Yankee Doodle. Sydney's speech here. And I introduce representing the 4th grade, Sydney Korea.
This is the letter I wrote about what Memorial Day means to me. Memorial Day is the day when I remember all the soldiers who risked their lives even died for the country I love. Memorial Day is the day I see flags, red, white, and blue, waving high in the air. Thank you to all the soldiers who made my country a safe place to be.
Great job, Stephanie. Next, we have our 4th and 5th grade band are going to be kicking off with a variation of America. Next we have Ms. Tyrus Cobb Jr., Army Ranger, West Point grad, would like to say a few words.
I lost a lot of my hearing when I was in the Army, so I don't hear everything she says. Can you hear me back there?
No.
I'll use my. It's a pleasure for me to come all the way from North Carolina, which is 1,100 miles, by the way, to speak to you today. I'm sort of torn apart because I'm a Yankee fan. And I had the second grader say Yankee Doodle. Thank you very much. But you see, when I was in fourth grade out in Oklahoma, I played baseball. And there was a guy named Mickey Mantle who was picked up by the New York Yankees when he was about 18 years old. Became a great ball player, not a very good man, but a great ball player. And everybody in Oklahoma wanted to be Mickey Mantle. So that's why I'm here. The things I want to say today is that remember that while you were thanking those of us up here who are veterans, we have our own special day, which is Veterans Day, which is in November. Today is the day when we salute those of our number who didn't make it through their war. I have some guys that I remember. Kurt Griffin. I don't know if I can go on. Kurt Griffin, Mike Crabtree, Tom Cole, Lee Leonard, Sergeant Tingle, Sergeant Chason. All of them lost their lives in Vietnam. And whatever your politics are, this is speaking primarily for the adults, we were sent there to do what our government told us to do. And when we pulled out of there, we did what we were told to do. And many of us laid down their lives to do what our government said we should do. But sometimes it gets to be very personal. And I remember I was there during the Tennessee, which some of you don't really know about. But it was the biggest battle in Vietnam. And I happened to be in a district headquarters, which is like a village, with a Vietnamese parachute battalion. And we were headquartered in a pagoda, because there was a real old pagoda cruise monk there. And the village had provided him a little, I think she was probably about 12 or 13 years old, to wash his clothes, cook his meal, to take care of him. And the day that the offensive started, it started about 4 o'clock in the morning. I'll never forget the look on that little girl's face. I can see her right now. It was absolutely stark terror, because she knew we were leaving to go fight somewhere else. And she didn't know what her future held for her. Unfortunately, I don't know what did happen to her. I understand there wasn't a lot of fighting there when we left. But we went into Way City and fought for 12 days. And we lost about half of our people there. So to me, it's personal. And when I look at all you kids out there, I know, unfortunately, that there are bad people in the world. We all know that what happened in Connecticut a couple of months ago. And another thing that Sergeant and I were talking about here was what happened in Benghazi, where 4 Americans were killed by Al-Qaeda terrorists. And our government, in 7 hours, said we couldn't get anybody there to help. That's an insult to me as a military veteran. I'm sure most of these guys up here would say the same thing. That we couldn't get something there in 7 hours. It's an absolute shame, and to me, it's really criminal. Because we're always told that we won't ever leave anybody behind. Well, we left 4 people behind from the God. And that really hurts me. And I want to point out that the military is there. Unfortunately, you know what happened in Connecticut. was an evil person within our own country. But there are people all over the world who hate America. And these are the men and women that will stand up for those people. And while we're really honoring those people who have died in our wars, let me tell you, there are other people who are willing to do the same thing to protect you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next we have our third graders. We'll be singing Your Grand Old Flag. Great job, third graders. Next we have our fourth graders singing America the Beautiful. Third graders. You know, 6 years ago, when we first started our Memorial Day celebration, I think we had 1 or 2, maybe 3 people joining us, and a few community members, and it's grown over the years to be a wonderful community event, but also a great tradition here at Pembroke School. And we're so glad that many invited guests that came to join us, and parents, and just kicks off our weekend. And one of the first people that helped us out with our first Memorial Day celebration was Olivia Bird's dad, who's been here every year helping us out and talking about the meaning of Memorial Day. I'd like to introduce Colonel U.S. Army Tim Burr.
This is amazing. The school's put on a using her microphone because my audience is right here. Well, when I was your age, I grew up 6 miles down the street. I had no idea what Memorial Day was. No idea. You knew I had a barbecue, I got Monday off, and I got to march in a parade. And the biggest thing about that parade, my biggest decision was, do I march as a Cub Scout or do I march as a Little League player? That was my biggest decision. That's all I ever got on Memorial Day. The other thing we used to do is, like some of your parents and grandparents, we used to watch this show by Private Bob Keeshan. You guys know Private Bob Keeshan? Hey parents, you know Private Bob Keeshan? Oh, come on. We had 3 channels back then, we got 200 now. How many parents know Bob Keeshan? Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. His informal rank was Captain Kangaroo. Now raise your hand. Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, he was a Marine reservist, great guy, ran a great show. So he did his time in the military. The other thing that we used to do back then was, you guys might need to help me on this, is Ted Geisel. We used to read books by Ted Geisel. And he was, parents, you remember Ted Geisel? Your parents used to read Ted Geisel? No, he wasn't a doctor. His middle name started with an S. It was the same as his mother's middle name. What was it? Dr. Seuss. Yeah. Dr. Seuss. You know what Dr. Seuss did during World War II? He was the first animator for training films in World War II. I'd love to watch those. I mean, those were a lot better then than they probably are now, but you know, you go back into history and you look at all that. We've all been familiar and started to learn about things about people in the military. I still didn't get really Memorial Day back then. And as much as you do here today, you guys get it. This is a great ceremony. Obviously, we have everybody coming. This is a great ceremony. But Memorial Day, the biggest thing about Memorial Day is a bond. And it's on the last Monday of May. And what that bond is, it takes everybody that's alive in here right now, and it bonds you with the people that did not come back fighting for our freedoms in this country. That's what it's all about. So don't let the barbecues and the parades and everything distract you from doing that. Okay? Now, one of the things I want to talk to you just briefly about is all of us kind of assimilate in different ways. You guys go through a certain training. Have you ever been scared? Imagine this. You graduate from wherever you do in first grade, you come here to Pembroke, and the teacher comes to you on the first day of school and says, as a second grader, where's my second graders?
Right over here.
What's your name? Jack. Comes right to Jack and says, hey Jack, welcome to second grade. Tomorrow, you're going to compete in the 5th grade spelling bee. Get a good night's sleep. All right? Would that be scary? All right, hey, does it really work that way? Does it really work that way? You go through something called incremental training. You go 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. Now, 5th graders would love to go down and take the spelling bee in 1st grade or 2nd grade, I'm sure. But I want to show you somebody that kind of puts fear in the way that we do our training. It's purposeful training. I want Bob Garbro to stand up and put on this hat. Where's your cover, bud? Now, when us in the military see this hat, we all get scared. That's known as a drill sergeant. Basically, it's known for training under pressure. And you know when you see a scary movie more than once, is it scary the second time? No! Is it scary the 5th time? No! Ah, you get it! You want another scary movie. Well, he's not a scary movie. He's a scary guy. The hat is the thing that fears everybody. Because each one of these gentlemen is for different services. Some of them are Navy, some of them are Army, some of them are Airmen. And they all went through some kind of drill, am I right? Did that hat scare you? Go ahead, do yourself.
Who and who? You call yourself a soldier troop? You need a haircut. You're wearing that uniform. I think like you slept in it and just rolled out. You just look terrible. Want to clean a rest position? Ooh! This is all up to you. You can be here until I get tired, or... Knock out! 1, 2, 3. Or how do you spell school?
Sergeant, S-K-O-O-L.
How do you spell school?
S-C-H-O-O-L.
It's about time. Recover.
All you second and fifth graders learn in certain ways, but you learn it incrementally. And you notice I did learn how to spell school. That might take me 4 weeks. But we all go through this kind of training together. So, did all of you, anybody here ride a bike? Okay. All right, question. When your parents came to you and said, hey, we're taking the training wheels off. You're going to ride 2 wheels. You're like, whoa, were you scared? Okay, we got some real wheels in here. Listen up. So you ride in the trash. They come up. See why I think everything talk about this? So, mom and your dad, they come up behind your bike and they give you a push. You got it going on. You're like, oh yeah, baby, I got it. Bam, you fall. Holy mackerel, did that hurt? I skinned my knee. I skinned my elbow. What in the world? Did you get back on? Yeah. What's with that? Are you crazy? Yeah. All right. All right, listen up. Look at these gentlemen back here. Listen up. Somebody may have come to 1 or 2 of them and said, hey, I got an idea. You want to jump out of a perfectly good airplane? One of the things that we all learn is that each one of us here probably we go from scared to fearless to confident. And when you go through 1st through 5th grade or 2nd through 5th grade, you become more confident. 5th graders can get out of 2nd grade, I can do 2 plus 2, no problem. 5th graders can probably say I can do a fraction. Right? It's all that kind of training. All those kind of things that we go through. Each one of these gentlemen went through some really serious training. It was just a different level of training. Everything that you guys do every day. Now, for some of us here, Memorial Day, while it is a bond, it's a Memorial Day for, I'll almost guarantee 75% of people, every day is Memorial Day. Am I right? Raise your hand if you feel that way. That's because there's somebody that they know close that probably passed on, or that was their battle buddy, or whatever, in combat or wherever they were, and they passed on, they did not come back. And they were fighting for your freedom. Right? So this event is a great event, because they can come here, and it's Harrison, where you at? Harrison wrote me a letter. I got the biggest kick out of this. It said, because we've all got letters each year pretty much, to come to this event. And it said, hey, come to our celebration. We're going to sing to you, and you can relax, take it easy. Hey, I'm all about that. Right on. So it's fantastic to see this thing grow the way it's growing. All right, now I'm going to finish up with a battle buddy scenario. Anybody ever swim alone? No, you don't swim alone. Maybe in your pool, maybe, but not out in the ocean. You know, all right, I'm ready to ask you more questions because we're not going to get anywhere. But you know what a battle buddy is? Some of you have a best friend. Yeah. We really depend upon that because it's not, listen, it's not all guns and ammo in the military. We actually have fun. We do some fun things out there in the military. But we also rely on our battle buddy. If we have a problem or an issue that we want to talk about, to our battle buddy, we should be able to do it. It's somebody that you trust. And I'm sure you all have a friend that you trust. Imagine if Dr. Tanner was my friend that I trusted, and I went up to her and I go, Dr. Tanner, I got a wart on my knee you would not believe, and I'm not sure what to do. And she goes, yeah, okay, well maybe we can do something about that. Next day, morning meeting, she's on the microphone, she says, good morning, school, PennBrook. By the way, Tim Burr has a wart on his knee. Is that a good friend? No. The way she should do it, and the way that we always depend on our battle buddies, is somebody we can go to, talk about either a member that we've lost, or something about training, something about the platoon sergeant, whatever it is. But if I went to Dr. Tanner and said, I got a wart on my knee, she goes, well, hey, listen, let me get the nurse over here. Maybe we can help it out. We'll close the door, take care of it, take a look at it. That's the right way to go about it. You all need battle buddies. These guys have battle buddies just a little bit more intense, like Sergeant McGarrow just took me through. But very important. All right. So your battle buddy can boost your confidence. So when you go through these years of training here, you're going through 1st through 5th, and there you go. You're out, you're going to go to 5th grade. Where are you? You guys are going to 6th grade next year. Good job. Right there. All right, I'm going to finish up here. Big thing is, next year you guys are going to be sitting up there because we're going to have so many veterans here, they're going to have to fill this whole area. I mean, this is a great ceremony. Let's not forget Memorial Day. Memorial Day is one day. And when you go through an airport and you see a black hat like this, you hold that hat up. That's just a baseball cap. It says U.S. Air Force retired. Sometimes you see them on there, they say World War II vet. You won't see World War I vet, but you'll see World War II vet, Vietnam, Korea. Those guys have usually been through something. And they usually know somebody that has perished, that has passed, that they're thinking about all the time, because every day is their Memorial Day. So take it serious on Memorial Day. If you see somebody anytime, you should ask the question. But Memorial Day is the day that you really need to think about those people that allow you to ride your bike, allow you to come to this school, allow you to do a lot of freedoms that other countries they don't even have. Right? Have you guys heard of the song, I'm going to finish up here, Man in the Mirror? Yeah! Well, that's written by Michael Jackson, former Michael Jackson. The way that I think about it, if you ever look at the lyrics, it says, start with the man in the mirror, right? Who's that? It's you! Just like these guys. They all did that. And there's another line in there that says, and they made the world a better place. Am I not right? Yeah. Right there. These guys have all made the world a better place. Let's not forget the ones that did not come back. Can't forget the ones that didn't come back. And you notice that, I'm not saying men or women. We don't have a woman up here this year, but we did last year, I think, or the year before. Very, very important. Some of the training that we go through is cultural training. It's like, you go to another country, me as a guy, a boy, I can't look at a girl, okay? So in other words, I have to go through a girl to look at that girl or to search her if she's coming into a specific dangerous area or whatever it is. And there are a lot of Marines in Fallujah that did that for us. So they were saving our lives because they were making sure bombs did not come through. They were women. It was not men. So we have to give them credit. In World War II, the WACs, they used to fly the planes for target practice. Those planes used to get hit with bullets from the people target practice going to Europe. That's a whole other ballgame. There was a young lady. When I was in Fallujah, it's 130 degrees. Is that warm? Yeah, it's warm. They used to eat breakfast at 6:30 in the morning. Used to walk in there and sit down. There'd be a couple Marines in there. There was one young lady. She was a Lance Corporal. Her name was Holly Charette. And used to talk to her every single morning. We used to talk about, at 130 degrees, the winter in New England. And that was the only reason I even knew. I said, this isn't that hot, or this isn't that cold. And then I found out that she was actually from Rhode Island. Well, unfortunately, June 23rd, 2005, she was an IED. She died. So, these kind of things that all these gentlemen that live through, these people are very important. Memorial Day is very important. So it's good to know what Memorial Day is about. And you know what? When I was your age, I was not as far as you were. You guys got it going on. You have got a great thing going. You understand, and talk to all these gentlemen whenever you can. You're going to learn a lot about it. If you have grandparents that fought World War II, talk to them today, because there's not too many World War II guys going around. And that's what they went through back then was absolutely fascinating. Lastly, if you see a hat like that and it says Army on it, I want you to do this. I want you to say hello, thank you for your service. Repeat after me. Hoo-ah. Hoo-ah. That's what you gotta say. You see an Army hat, Army uniform, you gotta say hoo-ah. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3. Hoo-ah. All right. Hoo-ah to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have our 5th graders that are going to lead us in our song, Proud to be an American. Everybody is welcome to join in. Who are going to share with us their speech that they wrote representing the 5th grade. They come up, Olivia, Anna, Aaron.
Hi, my name is Olivia. My name is Aaron. Hi, my name is Anna. And this is a speech we wrote for Memorial Day. Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, National Guard, and Coast Guard. I think we should all thank these branches of the service. They put their lives at risk for our freedom and safety. If they gave up, we wouldn't have our freedom. This stage was dedicated to all our heroes at war. When we leave for school, we know we will turn to our families again. When our soldiers leave for war, they never know if they will ever return again. Families out there hope and pray for their loved ones on the battlefield. I don't think you can imagine what goes on in the war zone, but I know for a fact our everyday cuts and bruises are not even close to what happens to them. They fight to protect the United States of America. All schools across the nation celebrate this special day. That's because it is a day we pause to remember the bravery of our veterans. One of your family members was or might be a veteran. So all we can say today is, thank you. We are proud to be American.
Thank you, girls. So once again, thank you everyone for coming. We are ending our ceremony today with a very special playing by one of our 4th grade who's been working hard to play the taps to remember all those fallen members of the armed service. Could I have Andrew Phillips please come to the stage? Great job, Andrew. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone who joined us today, especially Superintendent Carol Jacobs, who's here today, and my right-hand person in the office, Mrs. Collins, who coordinated all our special invited guests today. And thank you to the Georgetown community for joining us today for a special event. Have a great weekend, and remember those who gave so much for our freedom. Enjoy.